Welcome everyone to Modern World Dynamics. Today, we're diving into the world of dating. Now, when it comes to sparking that first conversation, it's all about breaking the ice. Picture it as a gentle tap on a frozen lake, not a sledgehammer swing. You're aiming for a ripple of laughter, an easy flow of words, not shards of awkward silence. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Picture a bloke, we'll call him Harry. Harry decided to start his first date with a joke about his date's name. Unfortunately, the joke was a monumental flop. Instead of a chuckle, all he got was a raised eyebrow and a frosty silence. Poor Harry had turned the icebreaker into an ice maker. The lesson here? Be cautious with your humor, folks. Keep it light, keep it friendly, and for heaven's sake, keep it respectful. Remember, the goal is to kickstart a conversation, not freeze it in its tracks. Once the ice is broken, it's time to delve a bit deeper. But how do you do that without turning your pleasant date into a police interrogation? The secret lies in the art of asking questions. Let's imagine a scenario. You're on a date with someone who seems interesting. You're eager to know more about them, but all you manage to ask are close-ended questions. Do you like this restaurant? Yes. Is that your favorite color? No. Sounds familiar? Suddenly, the conversation starts to feel like a tennis match, and not a thrilling Wimbledon final, but a tedious back and forth with no real depth or excitement. Now let's rewind and replay the scenario, but this time you decide to ask open-ended questions. What do you enjoy about this restaurant? Why is that your favorite color? Suddenly, the conversation flows. You're getting to know your date on a deeper level, their likes, dislikes, experiences, and perspectives. And what's more, they're getting to know you too. A good question is like a key that unlocks a treasure chest of stories, ideas, and emotions. It's not just about getting an answer, it's about igniting a conversation. But remember, while it's important to be curious, it's equally important to ensure that your date doesn't feel like they're on the hot seat. You see, there's a fine line between a conversation and an interrogation. In a conversation, questions are a bridge to understanding. In an interrogation, they're a tool for extraction. So, how do you strike the balance? It's simple. Listen more than you speak, respond with empathy, and ask follow-up questions that show you're genuinely interested. And finally, throw in some humor. Laughter always helps to lighten the mood and makes the conversation more enjoyable. So don't be afraid to ask quirky questions or share funny anecdotes. After all, a date is supposed to be fun, not a formal interview. Remember, you're on a date, not an episode of Law and Order. Happy question asking. Now that you've got them talking, how about sharing a bit about yourself? The sweet dance of conversation during a date, where the rhythm between listening and sharing takes center stage. Imagine you're on a date at a cozy little cafe. You and your date have just ordered your drinks. In this scenario, let's call our date, shall we say, Chatty Cathy. Cathy is an exciting individual. She's got stories that could fill a library. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic that Cathy has so much to share, but the date soon starts to feel like a one-woman show. Cathy talks about her job, her travels, her adorable but naughty cat named Whiskers, and her love for vintage vinyl records. You, on the other hand, barely get a word in edgewise. You start to feel like a passive audience member, rather than an active participant in the date. The conversation becomes a monologue, not a dialogue. Now let's flip the script. You're still at the cafe, but this time you're with quiet Quentin. Quentin is a good listener. He nods, he smiles, he says at the right moments. But Quentin, bless him, doesn't share much about himself. You're left wondering, who is this enigmatic entity sitting across from me? What's missing in both these scenarios? Balance. In the dance of conversation, you need to both lead and follow. Yes, it's important to listen, to show genuine interest in what your date is saying, but it's equally important to share about yourself. It's about revealing your own stories, your passions, your quirks. It's about letting your date know who you are, what makes you tick. Whether it's your love for cooking, your crazy skydiving adventure, or your fascination with astrophysics, sharing about yourself helps establish a connection, a common ground. It's a way of saying, hey, this is me. This is my world. Would you like to be a part of it? So the next time you're on a date, remember to balance listening with sharing. Give your date the stage, but don't forget to take your own spotlight too. After all, a date is a duet, not a solo performance. Remember, a conversation is a two-way street. Before we dive into the deeper end, a little reminder. I know you've been enjoying this insightful journey so far. If you found these tips and tricks helpful, why not join our community? Hit that subscribe button and be the first to get updates on all our latest content. And if you're already part of our community, we're thrilled to have you here. Don't forget to tap that like button to show your support. It's your engagement and enthusiasm that keeps us going. And speaking of support, we put a lot of time and effort into researching and creating these videos. We want to continue bringing you the best content possible. If you're able, consider making a donation. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the coffee brewing in the Modern World Dynamics studio. The donation link is right there in the description below. Now back to our dating dynamics. All right, now that we're back, let's navigate the minefield of sensitive topics. Sensitive topics have a notorious reputation in the dating world. They can be tricky, unpredictable, and if not handled with care, they can detonate, leaving the date in ruins. But why do we even tread on such dangerous territory? Well, understanding and respect. That's why. Imagine you're on a date with someone who seems perfect. You're laughing, sharing stories, and then suddenly, they make an insensitive remark about a topic dear to your heart. It's like a record scratch. Everything stops, and the once perfect date is now steeped in discomfort. Let's call this the pineapple pizza incident. Our friend, let's call him Jack, was on a date with a lovely lady who happened to be a passionate vegetarian. Jack, unaware of her dietary choices, started a light-hearted debate about pineapple on pizza. It was all fun and games until he made a joke about vegetarians. Suddenly, the laughter stopped, the mood shifted, and the date went downhill faster than a bobsled on an icy slope. The lesson here? Always be respectful and considerate when navigating sensitive topics. You never know what matters deeply to another person. It's not about agreeing on everything or avoiding controversial topics. It's about showing empathy, understanding, and respect for your date's beliefs and experiences. And remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Tone, timing, and tact are your allies in these conversations. A question posed with genuine curiosity and respect can open doors to deeper understanding, while a thoughtless remark can slam them shut. In the end, it's all about making your date feel valued and respected. So tread lightly on the minefield of sensitive topics. Listen more than you speak, ask thoughtful questions, and always respect the other person's perspective. Remember, being considerate and respectful is not just about avoiding controversy, it's about showing your date that you care. Well, we've come a long way from our icebreaker, haven't we? We've journeyed through the art of asking questions, the beauty of sharing about yourself, and even navigated the tricky waters of sensitive topics. Remember, the key to a successful conversation on a date, or anywhere for that matter, lies in balance. Balance your curiosity about the other person with a healthy amount of self-disclosure. Show genuine interest in their stories, while also sharing your own. Be respectful and mindful when discussing sensitive topics, ensuring the conversation remains a safe space for both parties. Embrace these principles and you'll not only make your dates more enjoyable, but also deepen your connections. With these tips in your dating toolkit, you're ready to take on the modern world of dating. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and donate if you found this video helpful. Until next time, this is Modern World Dynamics, signing off.